Alright, it's the next day. I just got home from work. I can't sit around to wait and see how this turned out. We're just going to pop some clamps off now rather quickly. So far, nothing looks too bad on the top surface. No dingies. Okay, so far so good. The edges look alright. We'll find out better when I go to flush the neck up to it. Alright, so now we have the remaining two clamps. Back. Interestingly, looks alright. Little tiny ding right here, but that's going to get taken out. That looks, well, there's a little bit of gappiness on that side, I think. We'll find out better when I flush it up. It does look like I might have some gaps to fill. Let's make sure it went down flat. No, it did not. I'm going to have to flatten it as well. Cool! I did all that to make it not. Well, in the end, it's a fretboard and it'll stick. It'll go on there pretty good. Anyway, fretboard is on. For better or for worse, the fretboard is on. There's a tiny little gap right here. I don't know if you can see that right there. Yeah, right here. You see that there? Tiny little gap there. And it's a little gappy along this edge here. But I think I can fill that. I think some of that has to do with the nature of my binding on the sides. I think that's what I'm seeing is the binding not being fully seated, but that's a minor. That is a minor thing. We can deal with that. So in the end, my fretboard is on. It's not perfectly flat, unfortunately. It's got a little tiny bump in the middle, but it's all right. We'll deal with that. In the end, I think we're pretty solid. Yeah, we're really solid. And yeah, so that's fretboard. Fretboard is on. Oh yeah, I wanted to check make sure the truss rod is free to rotate as needed. Yep. Looks like it's all right that direction. Try it this direction. Yeah, seems like it's okay. So we might be able to fix the straightness issues with the truss rod. We'll see. Take it about a half turn there and see what happens. Oop, wrong direction. I think. Okay, go half turn the other way here. Oh yeah, that's way better. Wow, big difference. I can absolutely deal with that. All right. Fretboard is flat. Not feeling any buzzes or anything like that. It seems pretty solid. That's good. Awesome. All right, I'm in a better spirit. Now I have a flat fretboard. And I have some travel left on the truss rod yet. I could do even more if I had to. All right, so since I'm waiting on the binding for the body now, I'm gonna try to get my neck finished shaping here. And just start with a spoke shave here. We've got the neck, the fretboard glued on, and I'm just trying to get up flush to the fretboard at this point, so that the neck's width is correct. And I need to have this held a little bit firmer. There we go. Now I can just spoke shave our way down to it. And I'm going for flush at the very edge of the neck first, and then I'll bring it closer to the angle that I want later here. I'm mostly concerned with getting the shape pretty close and correct. I'm just taking off the roughness of the wood here, the rough woods. It's about, oh, in some spots it's an 1/8, in some spots it's a 1/16 of an inch oversized, so I'm just reaching for near flush here. And I'll know it's flush when I start seeing hints of binding coming off there along with the wood. Alright, so we've got it at the first fret. The shape is about right. You can see that there. It's very close. However, I had a bit of a challenge. As always, a bit of a challenge. My spoke shave took a chunk out of my binding here. See that there? Yeah. Kind of put a bit of a crimp there. So I have to figure out how I'm going to deal with that. Don't know. It took a chunk out. I might be able to figure out a way to acetone and mush, maybe, and then sand it flush. But for now, we're just going to go to the 12th. And I have to pull this way, so I do need to be on this side of it. We're going to go down to the 12th fret here and make it the right shape. So now we've got, this one might be a little trickier to see, but I've got our 12th fret looking downright nice. So we're good there. Coolness, yeah, I think we're good there. So, and now the ultimate thing is, does it feel right there? Yeah, it does. Okay, so the next steps are, I have all this crap in between that needs to be removed. I'm going to grip it fairly low on the fretboard area there. Hopefully tight enough to keep it turning. Now I got to get a straight line from here to here, all the way along all of this. So what I'm going to start with is I'll check the back, and then I'll just work my way down, and we'll go from there. Alright, so now we have, I guess I drew sort of some lines here to say, okay, this is good and this is good. Now to get straight lines between them and a little beyond, it's fine. You kind of shape that a little bit too. So I've got a straight edge. It's a little longer than the distance between the two frets, and I'm just looking for high spots to take off. And I'm going to start in the center, and I'm going to work my way backwards. I'm going to get this a little tighter, I think. And we got to hold on to it pretty good though. It's going to be tricky to hang on to, I think. Try to get like that. I think I'll just bolster it with my body there. And we'll just sort of nibble away at this until it's not rising up so far. Yeah, it rises up really quick right there, so I want to take some of that away. I really want to hold on to this a little tighter, but I don't want to squeeze too much. So we got a pretty good rise right here, so I'm just taking some of that away. And then we'll have a look at it some more. Alright, we've got the neck pretty well shaped now. That's nice. It needs a little sanding, obviously. It's a little bit rough, but it's the shape, the curve, everything is within my needs and desires for curvature and all of that happy stuff. And yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with the neck so far. The next bit I got to do is shape the bout, the heel block area, and I'm going to need to know kind of where it's going to land on the body as well. So we'll jump into that next. So I'm just going to get the rest of this shaping done here. Get this neck profile at the heel worked out. Okay, well, as you just saw, we spent a little while rasping, using a rasp, just to get the heel block and where the body joins up with it somewhat symmetrical. I have a little bit more to do right there, but kind of get the idea here. We take a file and, or first we took a rasps. These I'm not going to be able to pronounce it, but it's French. It starts with an A. Arrow. I think that's who these are. These might not be. It says it's Swiss made. It's Grobet file, not Arrow. Sorry, rasps. So we got the rasp. It's a Grobet. I don't remember where I got it. I think it was Lee Valley. Might have been Lee Nielsen. Cannot recall exactly. But use that to get this shaped pretty well. It's mostly, it looks like it's pretty symmetrical. Sometimes it's hard to see the symmetry for me straight down onto it. So if I kind of take away some of that extra curve, I can kind of get the shape better. If I just get something behind this outer ridge, this little crest here, it helps. And it looks like I'm a little bit high right there. And we'll take a little bit more here. And you know, I won't bore you with the full details here, but I think we're pretty close to the final dimensions that I want to be. And the rest will be done with just a round file. And this is a really cheap, crappy round, round file. It's loaded up with aluminum crap. It's cheap. It's very cheap. It's garbage, but it's what I have and it's what I'll be using. So we'll just use this to smooth out some of the rasp lines. Just get some of the really deep scratches knocked down here. And this does a little bit of a job. It's not especially sharp. It's not especially quality. In fact, it's the bottom of the barrel you can get. But even the bottom of the barrel seems to be yielding results I'm okay with, at least. The really nice rasp, on the other hand, I can definitely attest to quality rasping actually makes a difference. I have one of those Stanley 4-in-1. I think it's a Stanley. One of those 4-in-1 jobbers, and all of its teeth are symmetrical, like they're in a row. So they just leave these great big long gouges. And the only way I found to combat that with it is to skew it while you're doing it, as you're doing it. So like you're moving it as a skew in this direction while you're pushing. And that seems to help. But with this, with a good rasp, you don't have to do that. And it cuts faster. It doesn't load up worth a crap. It doesn't load up at all, really. And we're just gonna use the file to refine this shape just a tiny bit. And just get things off the rasped surface. I find the file works great for these crannies, these nooks and crannies, to get it, ready for sandpaper grit sizes, because if you started with 80 grit after a rasped thing, you'll spend a lot of time. At least I do. I spend a lot of time with it. This makes it go a lot faster. It also gives me a chance to very gently sneak up on a shape. That looks really right. I think I'm going to leave it. And the cheap, crappy file does load up a little bit, but that's alright. So, we just keep doing that. And it's already very smooth. Got a few more minutes with it, but you kind of get an idea of what's going on here. And now I've got my heel block pretty well shaped. Just feeling it in a few different positions helps you find things that you may not notice until it's on the guitar. Just kind of, you're going to hit it like this, so give it kind of that thumb test. Yeah, that feels really good. Okay, so I'm going to say that's about ready for sandpaper now. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. It's very smooth. It's uniform. It's a good feel. It feels really nice. So we're pretty well. I'm gonna say I'm done shaping my neck. That means the next step is to get this darn thing set, I think. Well, I'm gonna hold off on setting it until I absolutely have to. What I'm gonna probably do next is get the peg holes drilled and such. Get those things worked out. So we'll bring you back when that's time. Alright, so we're ready to, I think we're ready. We're going to find out if we're ready or not here. I've already dinged it up. So in an effort to not ding this thing up anymore, damn it. Okay, so we're ready to drill the headstock out for the tuning machines. Got my tuning machines. says 25/64 approximate hole size. I've got this little block. So the challenge is the dumb thing won't sit because it's an angle, right? So I need to like hold it flat, all right? But I also need to drill all the way through. So I'm going to hold it up a little and have a backer board. So that's what this whole mess is. I want to make sure I'm gentle with it. So I've got this piece of neoprene down. I can put the neck of the fretboard down on it, like so. And then I can put a little bit on this. Put this little holding device down on there. A couple of spacers underneath for spacing, because that's what the spacers do, is they space things. And if I could hold it well enough, I could get 3 spacers in there just like I wanted. And then I can slip the neoprene inside of there. And this holds it all flat, hopefully flat in theory. And then I've got a nice little riser here that'll keep everything nice, and it doesn't just want to shift. Maybe I don't need that. Maybe I don't need that neoprene there. That'll actually tip it anyway. So I'm going to loosen this, pull this out, and lose all my spacers, of course. Grab these 3 spacers, set them right here. Hold this up, slide the neck in, and then we'll just slip the neoprene in underneath like that. And then I'll hold on to it and cinch it down nicely. And that should take care of it. Because really what I want is I want a little support in the back so that when I drill through it doesn't want to try to blow out. That'll do. Alright, to the drill press. Alright, and I just took really quickly behind the scenes, I put a prick mark, a little punch, the center punch where the holes actually go, and I'm going to step up, I'm going to work my way up to 25/64 or whatever it says it should be. Yeah, 25/64. So start drilling now. This is a big step here, huh? Yes, I think so. Okay, drilling away. There we go. That should be enough. We'll take it to the bench now. All right, take one of the tuning machines here. This one is a, oh, I don't know which direction they're supposed to go, actually. I'll figure that out later. But it just, can you see that? Presses in. It's a perfect fit. The fit could not be better. It's a beautiful fit. Makes me want to put another one in there. Boink. I think I'm going backwards. I believe I am. Yeah, those are backwards. These should be this way, I think. Yeah. Well, you get the idea. They are a good fit. Boink. There we go. That's a really nice fit. I think this is the right direction. They look right. Yeah, I think that's the right direction. And we'll set this one on there. And then I have to work out how to align them so that they look aesthetically aligned. I think that's just a matter of drawing a center line. There, so there we go. There's some tuning machines. Pretty cool, huh? I don't have the ferrules and stuff on, but that's neat. That's getting, and they're operational. And their spacing looks, I'm checking on the distance between them here, and they look pretty good. yeah, they look good. You just have to turn them the right direction is all. And they are functional. Yeah, just a matter of working out where to rotate them so that it's symmetrical and proper and whatnot. But that's a good sign. And it looks like we're thick enough, so that's another good sign. So there's it. That's headstock drilled for tuning machines. Alright, so I'm ready to like get the sprayed on stuff off, and I think I'm failing at it, but this is what I sprayed. Not sure what I need to remove what it needs for removal, but I squirted just a little bit of denatured alcohol on it, and I'm just going at it with a scraper because that seems to be somewhat effective. Just gooping it up with paper though. If there's a better way, I'd love to know. I think the better way is to not use a paper template in the first place. I think what I'll do next time is cut one of these out on the CNC with the hole patterns and whatnot necessary to make these happen, so I don't have to do this process. Yeah, this stuff is sticking well. The directions did say permanent bond, but I guess I wonder if I can sand it off. Oop, I can't hold on to it very well though, I can tell you that much. I think I might be able to sand it off. But yeah, so we're going to get this off of there, and then I'm going to figure out, I have an idea for how to treat the top of this, because on the Gibson, on the original, it's black, and they do their little crown inlay and the Gibson inlay. I have some inlay ideas I'd like to use, or I'd like to try, and to do the black I may do a veneer of ebony. I'm not sure on that just yet, but theirs I think is painted, and I may paint it as well, I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, this isn't, scraper's not working for nothing. It's gonna need to get sanded, I think. Yeah, sanding works fastest. So I'm gonna get set back up in a way that'll let me do this a little quicker, and we'll bring it back after it's done. Alright, well, I have decided I don't need help on how to get this stuff off. I will never use it for this task. This is terrible. It's just gooping it all to hell. I can still see my original centerline pencil under there, which is cool, but yeah, it gooped all to hell. Nothing I do. I tried mineral spirits, which I think actually made it worse. And denatured alcohol isn't touching it anymore. Now it's just soft and goopy. And it's really tacky. So what I'm going to probably do is just try to get as much off as I can. Give it a chance to try to dry some, and then come back with sandpaper, I think is probably my safest bet. Because that right there, that is just nothing but the goop right there, just blocking it. The sanding doesn't seem to cut through it either. The sandpaper gums up as well. Yeah, it's just not. Okay, note to self, don't use the spray adhesive game. That did not work. When you guys saw me put it on there, you probably were thinking, some of you were probably thinking, hey, that's not going to come off very easy. Well, here you are. Fruition. Yeah, that's just soft. That's not abrading at all. It's smudging. Alright, I think I'm just going to try to get it to let it dry. And I've got a bit of a gouge I put into it too I need to look at. Yeah, I'm on bare wood here, but it's a real goopy mess right there. So I'm going to hold off. I'm going to see you. This is a case of trying to push too hard on something, so I'm going to just leave it. Alright, I think we're good enough now. We're a little perseverance with the scraper, a little sandpaper, a little more denatured alcohol, and some rubbing. I think we're good. I think that's going to do just fine. I'll cover it up with veneer, I think, though. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm leaning. We'll see. Got to figure that out. But I'm going to say between this and having all the tuning machines in, things are starting to look a bit like our guitar. So I think that's pretty cool, personally. These press in nicely. There's just a snug press. Just like that. That's pretty cool, I think. I think that's pretty darn neat. I want to put them in again and take a picture, I think. So, there we've got headstock. Pretty cool, I think. So I'm going to let all the goo on that dry, and I think we can call this a day. This is a good day.